Welcome back to the Full Force Fathers podcast, episode number 91. The countdown to 100 is on, and also the countdown to Christmas is on. We are a whopping 6 days away till that jolly old elf comes down the chimney and presents some presents for the boys and girls of the world. So what's going on today, Dave?
Yeah, no, things are good. The countdown is on. It's in full swing. Only 6 more days until the elves stop showing up every night and causing all the mischievous things that they do. So not gonna miss the elves terrorizing the house in 6 days either.
Wait, you said elves plural.
Yeah, elves plural.
How many elves do you have?
2. We have 2 elves now. 2 elves. We had one for a long time, and then another one showed up, so that was fun.
That's literally the worst thing that could ever happen.
At least they do the same thing every time, so that's fun.
It had to be a Casey decision.
Yeah, I don't know if she wrote Santa Claus and asked for a second elf to come or what, but we had another one show up. Now we have the original, the OG Skippy Sticks and Snowball. So
nice.
Cool.
Yeah, we still have the original Julie from I don't even know how long ago that was now, and she's listen. You know what's great about an elf? They never age, dude. They never get older. They're always young.
They're amazing. They look great. I know. It's awesome.
What's the best place, funniest place yours have been? Your duet has been this year.
They created a poop museum, which was awesome. They had reindeer poop,
sounds terrible.
javelina poop, snowman poop, unicorn poop, all sorts of different poop. It was great. I loved it. It was awesome.
That's tremendous.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was good.
Cool. Yeah, we've had Julie in a bunch of places. I think the best one so far, she somehow taped herself to the wall in the living room and she was stuck there.
Nice.
So that was an interesting one. She had blue painter's tape and she had taped all her limbs to the wall. So somehow she was stuck to the wall. Don't know how, but yeah. Anyways, enough elf talk. Let's get into episode 91 talk. So why don't you kick us off today?
Yeah, I wanted to. We usually start with numbers, but I had something that I read the other day, and I sent it to you, and I just thought it's relevant, it's recent. Why don't we put it into the show? So, Southwest Airlines supports inclusion of everybody, including really fat people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that it's crazy. I read an article that said if you're fat, for one price ticket, you can take up to 3 seats for yourself, which I think is ridiculous. Nothing like promoting being unhealthy. And that's exactly what Southwest Airlines is doing. I think it's ridiculous. I'm going to pay one price. You're going to pay one price. And we get a regular seat. So why should that be the case? You should have to buy 3 seats. Because quite honestly, no one knows that you're enormous until you get there. And then everybody else is going to have to cram into the seats around you so you can have a full row all to yourself. Congratulations for being unhealthy.
Would you? Yeah, but wouldn't that screw up people that are ticketed? Because if you're a ticketed person and you have a flight and all of a sudden one person needs 3 seats and it's a full flight, that means 2 people don't get to fly?
Yeah. Yeah, if it's sold out, I guess you're shit out of luck. Sorry.
So my question is this, because I'm very tall. Those of you that don't know anything about me, I'm a pretty tall guy. Does that mean because I'm tall, I can say, hey, I'm tall, I need 3 seats to lay my legs out?
It could be.
Like,
or, hey,
I'm offended.
I don't care if I'm C60, if I'm the last person on the plane, I'm very tall. I need to have the aisle in the exit row. I mean, only seems fair.
Listen, if we're talking inclusion, I'm offended now that the fat person gets 3 seats for the price of 1, and I'm 6'5" and I get the small coach seat. I don't get 3.
Yeah,
I'm offended.
You should feel that way. You should be offended. Yeah.
I'm very offended. But speaking of,
I thought this was an inclusive airline, but here we go.
I thought this was perfect that you brought this up because I saw something this morning, and as those of you who know, big JFK guy here. I know I'm a staunch conservative. I like the Democratic president because he wasn't really a Democrat, but that's neither here nor there. JFK in 1962. I need to push play, and then you need to tell me if you can hear this.
More unfortunate than to have soft, chubby, fat-looking children who go to watch their school play basketball every Saturday and regard that as their week's exercise. I hope that all of you will join, and everybody in the United States, to make sure that our children participate fully in a vigorous and adventurous life, which is possible for them in this very rich country of ours.
So that was JFK in 1962. JFK warned America about soft, chubby, fat-looking children in 1962. This is not an episode, by the way, on obesity. Listen, we've done it before. I'll do it. We'll probably get there again when the percents tick up again. But at the time that JFK delivered that speech, 4% of the United States children were obese. 5% were considered overweight. But back then, the standards for being qualified as obese are not what they are now. They are not even close. Okay? It also says today, according to today's standards, 19% of children are obese and another 16.6% are considered overweight. Once again, standards way different back then than here. So that number back then would be like minuscule today because of the standards that were different now. And he said he wanted all schools to adopt mandatory strict physical fitness programs to prevent childhood obesity. And my favorite word of the whole paragraph, childhood softness. That's what I love to hear. This is JFK, a man way ahead of his years. The GOAT, in my opinion. Government took him out. Secondary opinion, because they didn't like him. But kids, dude, exercise with your kids, man. Don't let your kids grow up to be the Southwest Airlines fat person that gets 3 seats for the price of one because they're fucking offended.
Okay, now I'm on a tangent. This isn't where the episode was supposed to go, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. The other day I was watching TV. I was watching one of the football games with Casey, and there was an ad that came on from Best Buy. And the whole thing was this fat, overweight dad, and he kept saying to his wife with his little daughter, "We're going to the playground. We're going to the playground." And they'd leave the house, going to the playground, and then the next shot would be them at a Best Buy playing video games. And then they come home, "I'm going to the playground." And they'd leave like they're going to the playground together. And then the next shot would be the two of them with virtual reality glasses on and the thing. And then it ended with the mom getting him a Christmas present. Like, "I know you guys like to go to the playground." And she got him like video games. I'm like, this is so freaking stupid. Like, this is what we're promoting. Going to the playground is going to play video games. Just what our kids don't need anymore is to do more nonsense playing video games inside in the store. We're going to lie about it. We're going to lie about where we're going. Not only are we not going to get exercise, not go outside and use our imaginations, we're going to lie about it. And the father is supporting it. And I just thought it was absolutely – I got so mad. Casey's like, "You need to calm down." But it got me so angry because it doesn't stop. It's like, can we please just get our kids outside using their imaginations, having them get exercise, fresh air, all these things that we know to be true and great for kids. And I'm pissed.
Why don't we just get the IV out and stick the soda and the processed sugar IV right in their arm? Because that's what they're doing while they're sitting there eating boogers in their parents' basements when they're 30 years old, playing video games. They just, eating junk food, getting fat, getting diabetes, and all this sort of shit. Side note here, let's just keep this dude, now you got me fired up. So the other day, this is not a secret, Andine does not listen to the podcast on the regular. I don't know if your wife does, but Andine is not a regular listener of the podcast. So I was online doing a little online looking Christmas gifts, and I stumbled upon Victoria's Secret. Maybe not, right? And dude, there's a section in Victoria's Secret. I know they went back to the super hot supermodels for their bras and all the other stuff, but they still have a section on their website for the heavy women. I'm sorry, this is going to sound really, really stupid. You may think it sounds stupid. I don't care. It's just my opinion. I like when my wife looks fucking hot and smoking hot and sexy, and I don't want her to look like a fucking fat pig, and I want her to look good in her Victoria's Secret bra and panties. I'm sorry. I don't need to see fat people on Victoria's Secret website. It's not going to happen. I work out hard to look good. She works out hard to look good. And that's not a fucking crime in this country. Fuck you if you think it is. But let's set some standards and have some strict regulation as to not being a fat ass with diabetes, because diabetes can be wiped off the face of the earth with just diet changes. There are some, that are born with it, insulin dependent. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about fat person diabetes, people that are fucking diabetic because they are fat and they eat processed fucking foods and sugars and all that shit all day long, every day, and they don't get off the fucking couch and they don't move. That's the difference. That's what I'm talking about. But sorry, Victoria's Secret, you're cleaning up your act a little bit. Not enough for me. I still don't need to go to the website and see fat women in bras. It's not for me. It's not what my life is. It's not what I look forward to when I go to Victoria's Secret. I'm just being honest, being a guy.
Yeah. And speaking of things that are ridiculous, the other piece of news, have you seen Draymond Green? The dude should never be allowed to step on an NBA court again, period. End of discussion. He is a complete and utter lunatic who cannot control himself, and he should have at this point lost the right to play a game and make millions and millions of dollars doing it.
Yeah, no, and I saw some of the because he was suspended indefinitely just last week by the league. I saw that some of the fines that he's going to get, they're going to get levied against him. So if it's under 20 games, it's like $192,000 a game that he misses that he forfeits. And if it goes over 20 games, it is 204 or 202 or 205,000 a game if the suspension lasts longer than 20 games. I don't know what the word indefinite means. Does that mean for the rest of the season? I mean, I did read the article last week where it did say, hey, he needs to, get help and blah, 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 blah. And the dude punched his teammates. He's gotten caught on camera, cold cocking, knocking teammates out. I mean, it's, it goes way back to his Michigan State days when he was a head case playing for Izzo. You and I, as UConn fans, hated Michigan State anyway, so we've never been a fan. Kicking LeBron in the nuts in the finals. I mean, the backhand last week against a Jerkic in the face, dude. I mean, and then he had the audacity to say
he
was flopping.
Somebody this year. He choked somebody.
Yeah, he tried to choke.
Yeah, he was flopping.
He tried to choke out Rudy Gobert.
Apologize for. Yeah, he said, I won't apologize for things I did intentionally, but this I didn't mean to do. Okay, sure you didn't.
And once again, I've wasted enough breath on Draymond Green. Dude, once POS, always POS, in my opinion. The indefinite suspension is what it is. I don't know. I can't imagine they're what are they, like 28 games into the season? I can't imagine it's going to be the rest of the season because they do play an 82 game season. So you're talking 20, you're talking 62, you're talking if they suspend the rest of their suspension for like 55 games, that's a lot of games to suspend somebody. He didn't, so I don't know if it's that long, but listen, it's going to hurt his wallet. You know the statistics. Freaking 60% of NBA players 3 years later, don't quote me if that's exactly right, but it's something like that, are broke within 3 years, dude. They need the money. It's not like they don't need money, dude. When you make that money, you live that lifestyle. So, but
no doubt about it.
Let's hop into some numbers.
We're going to go from one crazy basketball player to the next. Number 91. We'll start with him. Dennis Rodman. What a guy, man. What a guy.
Legend.
911 career games. He averaged a little under 7.5 points a game, but he averaged over 13 rebounds a game. And get this, 7 seasons he averaged over 15 boards per game, which I thought was rather remarkable. But he was you never know what you're going to get with him. He was always intense. He played hard. He dove into the stands. He was all over the place. He mixed it up with everybody. He had the crazy hair. He dated supermodels. He just disappeared for times. He just marched to the beat of his own drum. I think he still does, and if I'm not mistaken, his daughter plays on the women's national team for soccer. And dude is just, man, I'm so happy he's on this list at number 91.
Complete beast, complete machine, greatest rebounder, but greatest undersized rebounder of all time. The dude wasn't that big. I mean, he's big, obviously, but
all time.
Listen, he started his career, his reputation with the bad boys, with the Pistons, and he was an enforcer for the Pistons. He won titles. He won titles with Jordan. The dude kicked cameramen. Dude, he's been to North Korea to visit Kim Jong-un. Are you kidding me? He's boys with a dictator. Okay, we need some peace talks. Let's bring Rodman in, okay? I'm all for it. The dude, yes, his daughter is an amazing soccer player. She does play for the women's national team. She's a stud. Obviously, the bloodline of being a freak athlete is in the family. But dude, absolute best. Is literally the toughest basketball player in my generation, your generation, in my opinion. Toughest. Take no shit. I like to use the word enforcer, dude, because he was like Ben Wallace. Remember Ben Wallace that played for the Pistons when they won their title with Rip in 2004? when they beat that Lakers team. He kind of reminded me of Ben Wallace, but
Yep.
like a longer career of sustained 6 points a game, 8 points a game, but getting you 15 boards every night. You know, he'd get you six hard fouls a night, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely just an amazing basketball player for sure. Awesome to be on this. And yeah, number 91, D-Rod.
Nice to have an NBA player in here in these late numbers. That was great. Why don't we bounce over to the NFL? Kevin Green, all-decade team of the 90s. He was a defensive guy. Played linebacker, defensive end. He was on the defensive line. Played 228 games. Had 160 sacks. At the time of his enshrinement in the Hall of Fame, he ranked third in sacks. He recovered 26 fumbles from opponent fumbles, not his own, from his team. And had 5 interceptions. So pretty solid career. Hall of Famer. Kevin Green.
Yeah, for sure, man. Listen, 160 sacks in 228 games. That's, you know, I know it's not one a game, but that's pretty good, damn good average for the life of your career. You know what I mean?
Yep. All right, here we go. I got some great stuff for you right here.
I'm excited.
Going into the NASCAR world.
I'm excited for NASCAR.
And the great Tim Flock. He raced the 91 car 90 times. 16 wins, 52 top 5s, and 64 top 10s in the 91 car. Now, he raced in the 50s and just a little bit into the 60s. Now, a couple crazy stories about this guy. The first is he had a monkey named Jocko Flacco, and he was a co-driver with him in the May 16, 1953 Grand National, where he won at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Jocko Flacco became the only winning monkey ever. Jocko retired 2 weeks later in Raleigh. At the time, so
it's hard to say this. It's hard to say this out loud.
It is. Drivers had a string that they used to pull up part of the wheel well in the car so that they could observe the tire wear. This was before the days of having spotters with binoculars and that sort of thing. So in the car, the monkey pulled it up and he got hit by a pebble. So Tim had to do a pit stop to remove the upset monkey. He ended up finishing third. He would have won that race without a problem. So the monkey kind of cost him 1 win in the 91 car. So a little bitter about that. And story number 2, 1961, in his final race before, quote, retiring, he was disqualified and banned from NASCAR for eternity because he had too much solder on his carburetor screw, which at the time, and I don't know, might still be, was illegal. It was widely known in the community to be retaliation by NASCAR because of Flock's support for the NASCAR Drivers Union. So he faced a lifetime ban because he supported the union. Interesting things from back in the 1950s and 60s in the NASCAR world.
Yeah, no, I would imagine that rule is not anymore because I don't think the new NASCARs are carbureted anymore. I'm pretty sure they're fuel injected. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe they still do carburetors on NASCARs. I don't have a clue because it's the biggest joke in the world that they call the Toyotas Camrys and they call the Fords Tauruses and they call the Chevys and because they're okay, because that's what the car is. Listen, that's just a souped up Camry out there. I can do that to my Toyota Camry right now and I can drive around like a NASCAR. That's just the funniest thing ever. I think it's hilarious. The monkey thing. This dude is this is just an awesome thing. And
this sounds like a guy you'd want to have a beer with.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure. And I want him to bring the monkey. He's got to bring, that's only with the monkey though. Do monkeys outlive humans? I don't even know.
I mean, they might.
I have no idea. Yeah. And 2 more numbers to throw in here because as you know, I'm the resident hockey expert. We are now 8 episodes away from episode 99 that will be labeled the great one. 2 great hockey players. Steven Stamkos, Stanley Cup winner. He's still active in the league, as everybody knows. Everybody knows who Steven Stamkos is for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then you also have Sergei Fedorov, who's a Hall of Famer in hockey too, who played for, pretty sure he was a Red wing. I'm not 100% sure, but he's a Hall of Famer in hockey. So you have Sergei Fedorov and Steven Stamkos. There was one more in football that I thought, I just love the name. And sometimes when you have a good name, you got a good name. Remember the guy who played for the Chiefs is not that long ago, Tamba Ali. Do you remember that guy? Where he also wore 91. He had like 90 sacks and 30 fumbles and a couple picks in his career. But he was like mid 2000s. So when we were in college, and then up until I don't know, it's 2023. He probably retired 5-6 years ago now. But yeah, he had Tamba Ali played for the Chiefs. He was a Kansas City Chiefs. But I had to throw in there some hockey numbers.
Right.
What do we got for a Bible verse? You put it in there this week, so I'll let you hammer it home.
All right. Okay. It's going to tie very nicely into the episode that we have in store today. And it comes from Proverbs 29, verse 18, where there is no vision, the people perish.
It's a good one.
Pretty self-explanatory there. And I love how it ties in because we touched on it at the end of the last episode. We are going to be talking about goals. And this is exactly what it speaks to. Where there's no vision, when you have no vision, people perish. It's just dreams at that point. If you don't have a goal, you're not working towards something, you're just going to falter and you're never going to hit those things. So that was my thought on the Bible verse today. Yeah,
it's a straightforward, pretty cut and dry on that one, man. No matter what you're doing in life, whether you want to be a millionaire or you want to have a six pack or you got to have a vision, right? You got to have a roadmap to get there, because if you don't, there's nothing. There's nothing there. You can't. It's like saying,
for sure,
I want $1 million, and then it's just a blank. It's just a statement, right? It's just that's it. I want $1 million, but there's no vision to say, hey, I want $1 million. That means I need to make X number of dollars a month. Break that down to X number of dollars a week. And if I'm going to do that, I need to get this job in this position that pays me this much money per hour. You have to have a vision to get there, not just a blanket old, I want this. So yeah, no, that is very important when it comes to goal setting.
Yeah, and that's what today's episode's about. It's about strong goal setting. The great Tony Robbins, incredible salesman, great business mind, business strategist in the world. He said this: setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. I mean, what a great way to look at it, right? It's like these things that you're dreaming about in your mind, you put goals to them, you work towards them, and you can actually create it and put it in front of you. And I think that, it's just so well said.
Yeah, no, I love how you said the word sales. Obviously, a lot of these guys start in sales. It's, sales, being a great salesman. And it makes me stop and think, this is a totally random thought, and we're not going down the rabbit hole. One of these episodes, I'm going to put together a list of who I think are the top 5 salesmen of all time. Dude, there's some good ones, man. The Ed Milet's of the world, the Grant Cardone. Dude, there's some good salesmen up there, dude. Brad Lee, these guys that can sell water. They can sell water to a well. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, I love the idea of strong goals. I love what Tony Robbins says there. Setting goals is the first step from turning the invisible to the visible. If you have goals, like, that's the other thing about goals. Goals, I think, you have to have like a tangible, something you can touch, something you can see, something you can feel, right? You're taking something that is invisible. It's just words in air, and you're making it a visible, what's the word I'm looking for? A visible product or something, tangible asset that you are doing. So yeah, no, I like Tony Robbins. I like that quote right there.
So there's 3 things you need to do, right? You need to have a mission. That's your why. Your why's got to be strong enough to push through the suck.
Mm-hmm.
If you're writing the right kinds of goals, it's not going to be easy. And you're going to have a lot of obstacles that you're going to have to overcome. So your why, your mission has to be big enough to be able to push through those things. That's the first and foremost. If you don't set that and have that, the rest of this doesn't fall into place. You need to have the vision. You just mentioned vision. You need to have the vision. Where is this going to happen? Where is this going to get me? Doing this work, I've got my why. How do I see this coming together and ultimately making my life better in some way? And then last is the strategy, right? This is the how, the strategy you're going to do. People have talked about SMART goals, right? That's probably what most people think of, SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. And that is a way of your how. That's a strategy that you can put in place. Now, some people think, you should set goals that are just almost unattainable. That's one way of looking at it. I like to make my goals to the point at which I know I'm straining to get there, but I want to know that there's more than a 50% chance that I'm going to hit that goal. So that's kind of how I look at it. I want to know that it's like a little over 50-50. Like, I'm going to hit this thing. If I put in the work and I know I'm doing it, I'm going to hit it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
And I think your why has to be so specific that you can explain it down to the very detail. Like, I want $1 million. Why? Because I want to be rich. Okay. Well, that's not a good why, right? I want to be healthy, or I want to lose weight, or I want to have a six pack. Well, why? Because I want to look good, or because my kids, right? Everyone uses my kids or my why. Well, why? Why are they your why, right? Is it because you just you love them and you'll do anything for them, and you want to, or is it because you break it down specifically because I want to be able to coach their teams and run around with them, and I want to be there for them at every single event, and I want to give them the life that I didn't have, and I want to better their, you have to get very specific, detail oriented, right? Why do you want to be healthy? Because I don't want to die I want to live to be 100.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why? Because I want to experience this, and this in my life. And if I'm healthy and I lose this weight and I eat this diet and I do this, then I'll be able to experience these experiences over the next, in my case, I want to live to 100. And then the next 60, I have 62 more years of experiences. But if I don't become healthy and I don't lose the weight and I don't exercise daily and keep my heart healthy and my muscles strong, then I'm not going to be able to do this, and this that I have mapped out, right? So you have to be very specific when it comes to goals. Like I said earlier, you don't just need a blanket statement. A blanket statement done, I just want to be rich. Why? Why do you want to be rich? Because I want to give back to the community. I want to be able to, I want my wife to drive this car, and I want to live in this house, and I want to live in this place, and I want to have this, and I want to be able to do this. You have to be able to break down these goals specifically. That's how you really discover because you know what? You want to be healthy. Why? Because you want to live to be 100. Well, that's a good blanket why, but is that really why? Until you break it all the way down step by step and get very specific, you may change. Your why may change, right? It may change just because you say something.
You're going to have to ask that why question like you just did to yourself, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe even more times than that, because you said that surface why isn't really the why, right? It keeps going. There's layers. Even like, I want to be rich so that I can give money. Okay, well, that's great. But why do you want to do that? Why do you want to give money? Because it makes me feel good. Okay, why does that make you feel good? And you got to keep digging down until you find really the true why of what you're doing. And that is when the special sauce is made, and you can actually go and put in the time and hit these goals.
And like a specific why for you that I'm just throwing you on the spot here, and I'm just going to break it down for you. Like a specific why for you is like you love financial, like helping people financially. That's like, that gets you off, right? That's a big deal. Mm-hmm. So you want to be wealthy to be able to give back to help kids. And then why though? Because what you really want to do, if you break it down to the very end, is you want to be able to have a course that goes in every single high school across the country that teaches kids financial literacy, so they never have to experience what it is to be in debt, be overwhelmed, suicidal thoughts over money, scared of the mailbox, right? Breaking it all the way down to the very littlest, finest detail is your true why. I only threw that out there because I know we've talked about that before as one of your lifelong goals, is why you do what you do every day, because we always want the next generation to be better than us, right? I'm fit as hell. I want my kids to be fitter than me, right? And I want their kids to come along and be like, holy shit, that was grandpa. He was weak as fuck, right? That's mom. No, you know what I mean? Yep. You break it down that way because you want to create generational wealth for kids that never knew what it was like to even have a fucking pot to piss in their entire life, right? That's your why. That's why you do what you do every day.
Yeah. Yeah, you nailed it. That is exactly it. I'm not naive enough to think that there's never going to be any debt in the world and every kid is going to not go to college and use student loans. But I want to be able to give every single kid in this country the opportunity to learn the basics and learn at a very young age how to handle money so that they have the choice when they get out to do the things that are required to never go down that path and to be successful. And like you said, build that lifelong legacy, generational wealth that they can pass on to their families. And that is my why, deep down, why I do this podcast with you. that is why we do this every week. That is my why for this.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely, it's, we do this for fathers to teach as fathers to go through our life experiences to help other fathers teach their kids, right? Because we both agree being a dad's the coolest, best, greatest gift that ever has
Best job in the world
known to man, right? Job, whatever we call it, right? And I look at fitness from the same standpoint that you look at money, right? I don't ever want to see a fat kid, man. I don't want to see a kid getting picked on for being fat, or a kid that can't run one lap around the track. And they just, those kids are who grow up to be the creeps and the weirdos because their whole life they've been picked on. And it starts with self-confidence because they have absolutely none, because there's no father in the house. They take it away. Then they're just, they become mama's boys and all this other stuff. And then they gain the weight and then they don't know how to stop it. And then it's probably, dude, that's not the way life was meant to be. Right. And then they grow up to be all the bad things that you read in the news, when it doesn't have to be that way. You have to nip that shit in the bud at the young age and teach these kids, stop playing video games, go outside, be active, make friends, be social, have a tribe. Like that's what all those, they're just intangibles that are inside of us that have been wiped clean. And it's the same thing for money. We are living in a world where they just promote credit card after credit card. Listen, I was in Home Depot the other night. Perfect example. I was in Home Depot the other night. In one section, if anyone's been in Home Depot, they have the washing machines, right? They have a row after row after row, washing machines and dryers. Mm-hmm. Every single washing machine above it where it has the price has the finance for 12 months. Finance for 12 months. The same sticker that's the size of a sheet of paper above every single one. That's what they're programming our kids, our whole entire lives as debt. They're doing the same thing when pharmaceutical companies and alcohol companies and fast food companies, they get all the airspace. And when kids are watching TV, they get all the airspace. Oh, it's okay to feel good and be fat. No, dude, that's what they do. They're programming our kids at a young age to be broke and be lazy and be overweight. Nah, dude, let's rid this fucking world of sugar diet created diabetes. Why, dude, so many problems go out the fucking door when the kid goes outside and goes for a walk or rides their bike, or you know what I mean? How many kids you talk to, and your kids and my kids, that the kids go to gym class and they don't even make these kids exercise anymore. And my 8th grader gets mad. She's like, Dad, they can walk around the track. They can walk around the track and do whatever the fuck they want. They don't have to do anything. Like, that's my why, because that should never happen. Yeah. It ties all the way back to the JFK 1962 speech. We don't need fat kids.
Yeah. Hey, and yeah, that is 100% true. And the goals that you're setting now, we've said it 100 times. Your kids watch what you do all the time. And these goals are going to carry on to goals that your kids have and how they live their life. And that is so super important. Earl Nightingale said, success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. And I couldn't agree with that more. I mean, that's really what it is. Finding success, realizing that your goals are the right goals, that they're making a difference and that you are progressing with them. And that continues to make you better. And for your goals to have long-term impact, they have to include some of these major things. If you're going to truly set a goal that's going to change your future, change the way you live your life, change the way people see you, they've got to have one of these. Career. They've got to be career-oriented. Financial. Spiritual. Physical. Intellectual. What are you doing to learn more today? Family-oriented. And social. Friends. That type of thing. They've got to include, your goals have to include one of those if you really want to set the tone and have something that's going to last a long time, as opposed to just a little short-term goal, something you can knock out quickly that once it's over, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and you got to have deep conversations with yourself of what your goals are, because too many people in this country, because we live in a social media driven world where they see everyone's driving the Lambo and all that other bullshit. And a lot of people, goals aren't real goals. They see, it's like keeping up with the Joneses. They see other people have these things. So like, oh, that's my goal. I want that. And do you really want that? When you break it down that way, what is like a career goal, a financial goal? Like, dude, success is not measured by money in bank accounts. It's not like a lot of people in this world that we live in, like that's this Instagram driven world. That's what a lot of people think. But dude, your career or your path may not make you a millionaire. And that's okay, because everybody's definition of success is different. Your definition of success isn't because I make $1 million. Like, that's such a fucking stupid measure of success, because some people want to be a school teacher. right? Unless you follow Dave Ramsey's plan, you can become a millionaire as a school teacher. But if you don't, that is such a rewarding job. And that is someone, like, those are career goals for people. They want to be a school teacher because they want to help kids, educate kids and become an educator. And that is like totally okay. And most people feel like you're not doing enough to keep up with the next person. So it's like not good. It's not cool. It's not a good goal. Like, how many people, the other thing is, what do you do for a living? Dude, how many people ask you that question before they even introduce that? Hey, like, how about you just tell me who you are? Like, and let's have a conversation about, why does it always come down to, what do you do for a living? Right? It's such a fucking material, stupid thing. Your job title. Like, dude, I shovel shit at Home Depot. I love what I do, man. Great. Right? Why does it matter when everyone's so fucking nosy in everybody else's bullshit life? Like, hey, what do you do for a living? When 9 times out of 10, people that you think are living the high life are nowhere near the high life that they're living. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's why when it comes to goals, you really got to know what your goal is. What do you really want? And that's where the soul searching and the deep conversation with yourself and the hard looks in the mirror happen. When you decide what you really want, that's when you can set the correct goals.
Yeah, you nailed it. And it goes back to understanding your why. You mentioned it, right? You're like, school teachers. Somebody's a school teacher. And the reason a teacher can stay a teacher with the salaries the way that they are, with the way this education system is the way that it is because their why is greater than everything else. Their why of helping kids, teaching kids, getting them started on the right foot is more important than all those other things. And if you have a why that great, you're set up for incredible progress and success with your goals. And that's because that's what it takes. That's absolutely what it takes.
Yeah, no, for sure. The only thing I'd say is just don't, like, I hope your goal's not like you want to be a politician. Like, no, let's not do that. That's one goal I'll steer you away from. You want to be a politician. You want to be a public servant. You can be a public servant in many other ways than being a politician.
It's true. That's 100% right. So that was our goal episode. You have anything else you want to talk about on goals?
No, I mean, other than the fact that, it's so cliche, and I think it's stupid because everyone goes to the gym on January 1st and everyone says they're going to change their life on January 1st and yada, yada, yada. I mean, if there's no better time than right now. We're heading into a year where we don't know what this world's going to look like. Take that however you want to take it. Are we going to be in a deep recession? Is there going to be a depression? Is there going to be a political turmoil? Is there going to be war? We are heading into a year where, dude, you got to learn to take care of yourself. First and foremost, your family, your kids, and make sure everyone's okay. Because, dude, I'm telling you right now, dude, 2024 is a complete fucking coin flip. It's a complete coin flip from the top down. Who's going to be the president? We have a presidential election year.
Yep.
We have the front runner that might be in prison. They're trying. You got the incumbent in there that's trying to put the front runner on the other side in prison. You got the fucking the president that's currently in there that's a corrupt son of a bitch. Who knows if he's on the ticket? Do we want 2 80-year-old dudes running against each other to be the leader of the free world? I'll tell you right now, I sure as hell fucking don't. I don't want 2 80-year-old plus dudes that I have to make a choice of who's going to be leading the country, the greatest country on earth. I don't want to choose between 2 80-year-old dudes. Come on, America, do better. Find the non-corrupt 39-year-old, 45-year-old, 52-year-old businessman or businesswoman boss that can handle this shit with some real world experience. Like, let's have something like that. And I don't want to hear the word Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley and Gavin Newsom. They're all politicians. So those are your choices. Not good enough for me either. But I don't want 2 80-year-old dudes. But all I'm trying to say is you have to be prepared. Make sure your goals are very, 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 very written out well thought out, because 2024 is, in my opinion, the best way to describe what 2024 is it is going to be a coin flip. It's either going to be a very prosperous, great year, or it's going to be a complete 30-yard dumpster on fire.
Yeah, well said. And our one of my big things, and we've talked about this before, is when you are setting these goals, you do need to write them down. Your success rate with goals skyrockets if you write them down versus just saying them. having an accountability partner that when you write them down, you share them with someone. Like I share my goals with Brett. He knows what my goals are, and I know he's going to hold me accountable to them. And then also, as you're progressing throughout the year, keeping notes, keeping a journal. How am I doing towards these goals? What are the steps I'm taking? Making sure that I'm doing the things I need to do it. They're not resolutions, folks. New Year's resolutions, that's the thing everybody wants to talk about. Resolutions go to die in about 2 weeks. Goals can stand the test of time and live with you throughout the year, and you can continue to work towards those. Book recommendation for today. It's called The Goal Setting Mastery. I don't have it on me because I read the online copy. You can find it at nightingale.com, and it's by Earl Nightingale. And it is an incredible read. It tells you the process for making your goals, shows you how to do it, how to look at it. It even gives you worksheets in the back of it to write your goals out. It's an incredible read. It's called Goal Setting Mastery by Earl Nightingale, and you can get it at nightingale.com for free. So that's your book recommendation for today.
Dude, it's a free recommendation, people. He just said FREE, free.
Free. The best kind of deal right there.
Yeah, no, good book recommendation, good episode. Write your goals down. Let us know what they are. And listen, 6 days till Christmas, baby. Get up in the morning. I hope you enjoy your day with your family and friends, and you gather amongst those that you love, and your kids have presents to open under the tree. If you are someone who's struggling, there are places. Look up some nonprofits in your town. This is just a public service announcement, PSA for you. If you are struggling this year and you don't know if you can get your kids presents, there's still time to look. I know there's only a week, but you can find something somewhere to make it special for your kids. Swallow your damn pride and ask somebody for help. Because Christmas, outside of it being Jesus' birthday, the Almighty, it is for the kids. We are fucking adults. I don't have a Christmas list. Andy and I don't exchange presents. Like, it is for the kids to see them smile. So, dude, reach out, dads out there. If you have any questions, if you need help, reach out. Go to some local nonprofits in your town, and they will have things for your kids.
Yeah. Yeah, and enjoy the season. Enjoy this last week. Go look at Christmas lights. Doesn't cost anything to do that. Watch a Christmas movie. If you've got them on DVD or on streaming, watch them. Enjoy that time with your family. And if you are going out to get a last-minute Christmas gift, if you're channeling your inner Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sinbad from Jingle All the Way, let me know. Let me know what the toy is you're going to hunt down, because I love that stuff. And can't wait to hear about all of your Christmases. So get out there, continue to live the full force life, and we'll see you next week. Merry Christmas.